Well, with the new year came 55 new taxes. That is the number of tax breaks that expired at the end of 2013. It is affecting everyone from electric car buyers to restaurant owners, even elementary school teachers who will no longer get a tax break for supplies bought out of pocket. Cato Institute's Dan Mitchell here to spell it all out for us. 55 tax breaks, they just poof into thin air. Is that right?
That's correct. And by the way, keep in mind that there are also some Obamacare tax increases going into effect.
Oh, good.
So you want to add those to the mix. But here's some good news. In all likelihood, these expiring tax breaks, sometimes they're called the extenders inside the Beltway, they're probably going to be reenacted at some point this year and made retroactive to January 1st. So knock on wood, if you're one of the people who might get hit by higher taxes, maybe you'll get a reprieve, at least for another 12 months.
Maybe, although, if there's a tax break for electric car owners, that's benefiting Elon Musk. He thinks that his cars would sell even without the tax break. So if that one disappears, do you think it's coming back? I'm not sure we need that one.
These tend to be an all-or-nothing proposition. You have all these disparate tax breaks all mixed up together, so all the different interest groups support the overall package, and they agree, let's link arms and pass it. Now, there's a policy and a process point to this. The policy point is that there are some bad tax gimmicks in there, like special loopholes for electric cars. But then there are some good provisions that reduce the double taxation that government imposes on us if we save and invest. So you have to take the good with the bad on this in all likelihood. But the process point is what really just should get all of us upset, because this is a bonanza, a windfall for the lobbyists and the politicians. The lobbyists get to go out to all these 55 clients, say, give us money, pay us $500 or $1,000 an hour, we'll work the halls of Congress for you. And meanwhile, the politicians, they're just sitting there with their hands out getting the campaign checks from all these interest groups. And so they all win, but the average taxpayer, we're the ones who
This is why I love politics so much, and why I try to stay as far from Washington as possible. Some of these, on the surface, though, you talk about the one for teachers to deduct the supplies that they buy out of their own pockets. That sounds wonderful on the surface, but then I'm thinking, how many elementary school teachers itemize anyway?
Well, only about 1/3 of all taxpayers in the country itemize, and
Right.
overwhelmingly they tend to be upper-income taxpayers.
Exactly.
Now, public school teachers in a lot of places earn a lot of money, and especially if you have, say, two of them married to each other, in all likelihood, they're going to be in the top 5% of the income distribution in the country. So, yes, they might actually be itemizing, and maybe they're getting a couple $100 of these expenses that they incur themselves that they then get the tax break for.
To me, and this will shock you, this seems to call for a more simple tax code and a smaller government. I mean, all this is about hubbub that we don't need, the lobbying and campaigning that you talked about, and a complicated tax code that's moving back and forth on these tiny points. It's costing people money. It's nonsense.
Every time I see a story like this, it just makes me long for the Hong Kong tax system. For more than 60 years, they've had a simple, flat tax. Their entire tax code, last I saw, was something like 147 pages. That's compared to the 76,000-page monstrosity that we get with this complicated, unfair, punitive, politician and lobbyist enriching internal revenue code we have. Yes, let's rip the whole dang thing up.
Okay, great. Let's do it. Thank you.
All right.
We'll go do it right now, Dan. Have a good one. Mamma mia.